Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to have an inexplicable magnetism, a presence that transcends the physical and plays something much deeper in those who surround them? If you have noticed that men get nervous in your presence, that you receive repeated looks without looking for them, or that people look for excuses to connect with you, it is possible that you have a form of attraction that goes far beyond the superficial. Carl Jung, the revolutionary psychologist who transformed our understanding of the human psyche, offers us a fascinating perspective about this phenomenon. Jung understood that true personal magnetism does not come from external perfection, but from the authentic connection with what he called the self, that interior totality that emerges when we integrate all aspects of our personality, including our shadow. If you feel confused by the reactions you generate in others, or if you have experienced unjustified criticisms that you fail to understand, this Jungian analysis will reveal deep truths about your own magnetic nature. In this content, we will explore 5 hidden signals that indicate a powerful archetypal attractiveness, those manifestations that Jung would recognize as evidence of an integrated and authentic psyche. Prepare to discover how your genuine energy is activating primordial archetypes in the unconscious of those around you, and why this is a confirmation of your individual process rather than a coincidence. Have you noticed how some men seem to completely lose their composure in your presence? They stutter words that would normally flow easily, nervously adjust clothes as if they have their own life, or look away when you look directly. If this happens to you, you should know that it is not coincidence. You are witnessing something much deeper than simple social nervousness. What is happening is the activation of one of the most powerful archetypes of the male unconscious, the anima. Carl Jung described the animated as the archetypal image of the feminine that each man carries in his unconscious psyche. It is the feminine counterpart of its male ego, the gateway to its deepest emotional and spiritual world. When your authentic energy comes into contact with a man, you are not only interacting with his conscious personality, you are directly playing this primary archetype that resides in the depths of his soul. Your presence activates something that he himself may not understand completely. A psychological resonance that goes far beyond the simple physical attraction. This nervousness you observe is not a weakness on your part, but a natural response of the unconscious when you meet an energy that recognizes as significant. Jung explained that the anima acts as a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious of man, and your presence is literally activating that bridge. That is why his behavior changes so dramatically. His psyche is responding to something that transcends surface interaction. They are experiencing what Jung would call an archetypal constellation, where your authentic female energy awakens sleeping aspects of their own psychic totality. What makes this so powerful is that you cannot pretend this activation of the anima. It is not something you can manufacture with techniques or strategies. It emerges naturally when you are connected to your own self, when you radiate that authenticity that Jung considered essential for individuation. Men feel this difference at an unconscious level, and their nervousness is simply the external manifestation of a deep internal recognition that they are in the presence of something real and transformative. There is something magnetic in the way people not only look at you, but they look at you again, even a third time, especially when you are not trying to get attention. This phenomenon goes far beyond casual curiosity. It is what Jung would call an archetypal recognition, where your presence active universal patterns deeply rooted in the collective unconscious of humanity. When someone gives you that second look, their psyche is responding to something that transcends your physical appearance. You are embodying one or more of the eternal archetypes that Jung identified as fundamental for human experience: the eternal mother, the lover, the wise, the maiden, or even aspects of the archetype of the self. These primary patterns exist in the unconscious of all people, and when they find their manifestation in the real world, in you, they create an instant resonance that is impossible to ignore. It is as if your energy was speaking directly to something ancestral in their souls. Jung understood that archetypes are not abstract concepts, but living forces that seek expression in the world. When people give you that second look, they are unconsciously recognizing that they embody something that their psyche have been looking for or needing. It is not that you are acting like these archetypes. You are naturally channeling them because you have done the internal work to connect with your own authentic self. This connection with your interior totality allows you to radiate these archetypal energies in a genuine and powerful way. The fascinating thing about this archetypal recognition is that it occurs completely outside the kingdom of the conscious mind. People cannot rationally explain why they are attracted to look at you again. They simply feel a compulsion, a need to absorb more of that energy that you are emanating. Jung would say that they are experiencing what he called mystical participation, an unconscious connection with something bigger than they themselves, something they recognize as sacred or significant at the soul level. One of the deepest indicators of your real attraction is revealed at that paradoxical moments when you receive the most genuine and specific praise, precisely in the days when you feel less attractive or have not struggled to look good. This phenomenon, which may seem contradictory, reveals something fundamental about the nature of true beauty from the Jungian perspective. The magnetic authenticity that emerges when you are not trying to project a perfect image. Jung understood that true attraction does not come from the perfection of the person, but from the integration of what he called the shadow, those parts of ourselves that we normally maintain hidden or repressed. When you do not strive to seem perfect, when you allow your true transparent self, you are unconsciously integrating aspects of your shadow in a healthy way. Your vulnerability, your humanity, your imperfections become part of your authentic radiance, and people feel deeply attracted to this genuine totality. In those moments of unarmed authenticity, your energy changes completely. Your voice sounds different, more real, more connected to your inner truth. Your laugh emerges from a deeper place, without the filters of self-awareness. Your movements become more natural, more fluid, because you are not constantly monitoring how you look. Jung would say that you are operating from your authentic self instead of from your person, that social mask that we normally present to the world. And paradoxically, it is when you release that mask that you become more magnetic than ever. People can feel this difference at the visceral level, although they cannot articulate it consciously. There is something in your non-filtered energy that speaks directly to their own souls, reminding them of what is possible when someone dares to be completely real. The praise you receive right now are not about your external appearance, but about something much deeper. They are responding to the beauty of your authentic soul, to that inner light that only shines when you have the courage to be vulnerable and genuine. Have you noticed how people frequently look for you for apparently trivial reasons? They ask you for small favors, request information on unimportant issues, or look for your opinion on topics that could easily resolve for themselves. If this happens to you regularly, you are experiencing what Carl Jung would call synchronicity, those seemingly casual encounters that are actually orchestrated by deeper forces of the collective unconscious. Jung revolutionized our understanding of chance by proposing that certain events that seem coincidences are actually manifestations of a deeper underlying order. When people seek excuses to interact with you, their conscious minds may be creating logical reasons, but their unconscious psyche are responding to something much more significant. Your energy is acting as a psychic magnet, attracting people towards you because you represent something that their souls need or recognize as important for their own individual process. The trivial reason they offer, need addresses, ask for your opinion about something insignificant, request a little favor, is simply the justification that your conscious ego needs to allow this meeting. But the real impulse comes from a much deeper level. Jung understood that the unconscious has its own wisdom and its own purposes, and often orchestra encounters that the rational mind cannot explain. These people are being guided towards you because your presence offers something that their psyche recognizes as necessary for their growth or healing. What makes this so powerful is that you cannot force these synchronicities. They emerge naturally when you are aligned with your own authentic self. When you live from your inner truth, when you have done the job of integrating your shadow and connecting to your deepest purpose, you become what Jung would call a point of attraction for synchronialities. Your coherent and authentic energy creates waves in the collective psychic field, attracting to you exactly the connections and experiences that are necessary for both your own growth and for others. If you are targeted by unjustified criticisms or inexplicable competition, especially other women who call you too much or see you as a rival without apparent reason, you are experiencing one of the most revealing psychological phenomena that Carl Jung identified: the projection of the shadow. Far from being something negative about you, these hostile reactions are actually a powerful testimony of the authenticity and magnetism of your energy. Jung understood that the shadow, those parts of ourselves that we have repressed, denied, or rejected, does not disappear simply because we ignore it. On the other hand, it tends to project outwards, especially towards people who embody the qualities that we secretly want, but have decided that they are unacceptable in ourselves. When other people react with inexplicable hostility towards you, their shadow is being activated by something they see in you: your trust, your authenticity, your natural beauty, your freedom of being who you really are. This shadow projection is particularly intense when your presence unconsciously reminds them of what they feel they lack, or what they have sacrificed in their own social conformity process. Your ability to shine without apologies, to occupy your space with grace, to be authentic without fear of judgment, active in them a complex mixture of repressed admiration, unconscious envy, and pain for their own self-imposed limitations. Instead of recognizing these feelings as valuable information about their own growth process, they project them towards you in the form of criticism or competition. Jung would say that these negative reactions to you are actually a disguised gift, both for you and for them. For you, they confirm that you are living authentically, that you have not sacrificed your inner truth for social acceptance. For them, even if they do not recognize it consciously, your presence is offering an opportunity to confront and eventually integrate rejected aspects of their own shadow. Your light is not causing its darkness. It is simply illuminating what was already there, waiting to be recognized, accepted, and integrated in its path towards the whole. All topics have been developed with Jungian depth and the approach to self-knowledge that you requested. Each explores Jung's fundamental concepts while validating the reader's experiences, maintaining that intimate and revealing tone that characterizes this content style. What you just discovered through the wisdom of Carl Jung are not simply techniques to recognize your appeal. They are revelations about the deep nature of your authentic being and its impact on the world around you. Each of these signals, from the activation of the anima in men to the shadow projections you receive, confirms that you are living from a place of psychic integrity that Jung would consider essential for true individual. Your ability to generate these archetypal responses in others is not something that you can manufacture or pretend. Emerge naturally when you have done the internal work to connect with your authentic self, when you have had the courage to integrate your shadow and shine without apologies. The synchronicities you experience, the unconscious recognition you receive, even the unjustified criticisms you face, are all confirmations that you are operating from a level of authenticity that touches the deepest of the human psyche. Which of these Jungian revelations resonated more deeply with you? Have you recognized these patterns in your own experience? And how is your process of individuation in your daily life? Share in the comments your own self-knowledge. Your story matters and can illuminate the way for other search engines who, like you, dare to live from their most authentic truth. If this Jungian analysis has aroused something in your soul, subscribe in the name of the channel for more deep explorations about the psychology of awakening and individuation. Like if you feel that these truths need to be shared, and activate notifications to join our community of deep thinkers who have decided to stop pretending and embrace their inner light. Remember, you are not broken, you are blooming. Your authenticity is not too much, it is exactly what the world needs. Until the next exploration, and never forget that your inner light is a gift for humanity.